What's up, everybody? Listen, this is going to be a quick one, and I'll tell you why, because I'm on borrowed time. The platform that I was using, remember, I told everybody it was going to go away in July. Well, I thought just the recording option was going to go away in July, but I could still build the episodes in the platform. So, just record it somewhere else, download it to my laptop, import it to this thing. I'm totally wrong. So, well, that's not true. I can, but the problem is now I can't put segments in the show. So I had the intro, and then I had the little sound effect, and then I had the content, and then I had the outro or the sound effect, and then I had the call to action thing in segments saved, and I could put all those in the episode individually. Well, now I got to try to figure out how to put all that shit into one big file and then put that file into that, none of which I know how to do. So I'm working on it. So if this one comes off dead, like no sound effects, no intro, just me talking shit, that's why, because I haven't got it figured out yet. And then two, so I've been kicking around the idea anyway of like limiting shows to like every other week or once a month, only because once a week is like a big deal. And I didn't realize how big a deal it was. But just like everything else I do, I bite off more than I can chew. And then I'm like, oh, that's not bad. And then I find out that I do it with workouts all the time. I program my workouts and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty nice workout. And then I get halfway through and I kind of want to die, but whatever. And it's not because some of it is because I just can't find enough shit to talk about. And some of it is that the guests and my time, I have time, but my guest time, they just don't sync up a lot. So then I'll run these weeks where I just don't have anything to talk about, much like right now. And so the point of that story is that well, now I'm probably going to be forced to because I use the free version of this platform to create the things, the podcast, and they only give you so many hours that you can store episodes on their platform a month. And so, kind of like, remember the old days when we used to have phone minutes and we couldn't go over our phone minutes? Well, this is the same deal. I can't go over my hours. And Tuesday, I'm going to record. Malcolm and I are going to do a show, which is going to be cool and I think highly anticipated. And I don't want to burn all my hours talking about stupid shit today when Malcolm and I are going to talk about mostly stupid shit on Tuesday. So, point of this is shows are going to come out every Monday or on Mondays, but maybe not every Monday from now on until I can figure out my podcast life. And I'm not interested in paying, X amount of dollars a month for extra hours and more services when I feel like everything in life nickels and dimes you to death anyway. So I'm just not interested. So that's the updates. I'm working through some things. It's Saturday. This will come out on Monday if I can figure out my life. And then after that, we're just going to kind of sort of taper back a little bit and try to figure out our lives after that. So there's two things I wanted to talk about today. One was, what do you do when your energy level and your kid's energy level doesn't match? So the answer to that question is I have no goddamned idea. But it feels like we've been grinding this out for decades. And the reason I thought of this is because I came home Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, I don't remember which day, and I just got my ass beat from a 24. And it's summertime, my kids are home. I'm getting home about the time they're getting up. So obviously they're fired up for the day. And I am not fired up for the day at all. I'm just looking for a hole to crawl in. And we do the thing and whatever that thing is, just kind of hang out in the morning a little bit and figure out what everybody's game plan is. And then I went to bed, or tried to go to bed. Went to bed about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, tried to get at least an hour of sleep, toss and turn there for an hour, and didn't work. Like, it's summer. My kid makes weird noises when he plays Fortnite, and it's just difficult. It's not their fault. They're kids. I'm not blaming anybody for my lack of sleep. So you get up and you start doing shit. So my strategy usually is I try to keep busy throughout the day because and then I try not to eat because if I eat, I want to eat all the carbohydrates in the house. And I know that that's a terrible idea because the energy level's low and I'm probably not going to get a workout in and it's just not a good idea. So I try to fast those days. that I'm sleep deprived, and then I try to keep busy with tasks. And I know it sounds counterintuitive because my energy is low, so I don't have a lot of output. But I find that if I do it, if I just keep moving, generally, it makes time go by pretty fast. Like I'm engaged in something instead of just sitting there mindlessly on the couch waiting for death to come. I mean, bedtime to come. And I feel like I'm somewhat accomplished and I didn't waste the day. The other thing it does is it actually boosts your energy level a little bit because you get that sense of completion when you do a task. So what I did that day is I mowed the yard and I emptied the dishwasher and just mine we were doing good. We were on cruise control. It wasn't too hot out. I got till about I don't know 4 o'clock, and that's when shit started going downhill. And by that I mean my attitude. But I knew that I had just a little bit more time. The older girls left; they went and scouted out some playoff softball, so that left me and the little ones. Now, me and the little ones have the most energy in the house at all, but they're of all of them. But they're also usually the best about keeping each other company and occupied. But I had to get through dinner, so we grilled out some burgers and we had a good old time. And then came 6 o'clock, man, and that was about that time. I was like, this is the time of night where I'm like, I really owe you girls some sort of attention, right? Like we should go do something cool. It's evening. The Dallas County Fair is going on. We could go for a walk. Like we could go outside and play some catch. But we're also going on like our to see 24, 36 of being awake essentially with minor, half hour, 45-minute naps in there, small ones. So we're on hour 36 of being awake. And this is where I struggle. So if you got any tips and tricks, let me know outside of snorting meth, or cocaine or anything like that, that would be a stimulant I'm probably down for. But man, but I didn't do it. Like I didn't offer anything. I probably needed to do some more movement. I needed to go for a walk. I needed to do something. But it was 6 o'clock, and I was like, man, I'm just beat. So what'd we do? I sat on the couch and just kind of stared at the TV while the girls played. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's not a bad deal. Man, that's fine. Like, what are you going to do? It's the best you can do. Yeah, I don't know. But there's a guilt involved in there, right? Where, like, they deserve my attention. They're at that age where they're okay without my attention, but we deserve a present dad in the house and not just, well, 8 o'clock hit, man, and I was just like, oh, this has got to end the day. I just got to end it. And I finally looked at him and I said, listen, girls, I don't care how late you stay up. Give two shits. Going to bed. So I went to bed, and I don't remember anything past 8:30. And next thing I knew, everybody woke up, everybody was home, everybody was healthy and happy. So that's a typical day after being up all night, most of the night in the summer. Now, during the school year, obviously I can recover a little more. Like they're gone in the morning, so it's quieter. I can set myself up for success with the little naps of 1 or 2 hours. I don't sleep the entire day because I'm just not built for it, and I don't think we are as humans built for it. And two, I'll usually have shit to do, so I can't waste an entire day by. And who can really like if you? I don't. The people that can do it, God bless you, but I can't sleep for 7 hours in the daytime. I can barely get 7 hours a night, even though I try real hard. I usually go to bed about 9:30 at night, and then I wake up about 5:30, and it's 8 hours. I could never during that during the day. Number one, the school day ends too soon, and number two, like. I think it would total jack me up. And then there's those days where you get the sleep inversion thing where you've been up all night on a Monday and you're just begging for bed on Tuesday night, and you go to bed Tuesday night at 9 o'clock and now you can't sleep. Man, those suck too. So anyway, that's that. Now, one of the new features of the update to the platform, I guess, is that now there's a comment section. So I guess anybody now, it's less work if you want to write a comment about the show or something like that, which is probably going to be a little dangerous considering some of the comment sections I used to read on Facebook back in the day and how I understand Twitter to be. But if you guys got tips and tricks on how to get better at those sleep deprived days off, I'm all ears. And I'll share them too. So that's the other cool thing. So if you got something cool to say on the comment section, write them down, and I'll pick one or two or three or all of them and say, hey, listen, this person does this, and I didn't think of that. It's a great idea. Second thing I want to get across right now is I finally met so I'm big on longevity and lifespan and health span. And I tell you about a dude I met the other day on a flight, and only because this is the guy I want to be. So middle of the night, midnight or so, we're going to some hospital. Some dude somehow got his leg ran over by his truck, and allegedly about 70 years old. So we're thinking, it's probably an old farm guy. This probably happened before lunch. It's like midnight now, but this old farm guy was going to walk it off or whatever. I'm not going to some damn doctor or whatever. And he was going to try to get through his day. Anyway, long story short, going to this hospital, and there's this dude laying in bed, and he's supposed to be 70 years old, and at least I thought. And I was like, man, it's a good looking son of a bitch right here. Like tan face, white hair, white mustache, thin build, but not skinny, looked 20 years younger. And I was like, man. So turns out story was legit. He was working on his truck, and it somehow got bumped into gear or whatever, ran over his lower leg. So we were flying him to a hospital where they could deal with compartment syndrome in the event that was the outcome of his injury. And super nice guy. Like, it was even at midnight, or 1 a.m. He was a super nice guy. Like, didn't want to cause anybody problems. Same deal. He wasn't going to come in, but his wife made him. You know how it works. So we get to going, and I tell my partner, I say, hey, listen, man, this is a good looking 70-year-old. Like, this guy is, and I'm looking at his medication list. He takes like 3 medicines when he needs to take these medicines. Like, they're not even like daily. They're like dicyclomine, which I think is like if you got like stomach cramps or something, like diarrhea type of stuff. IBS, I think, is like an antispasmodic maybe. And then Aleve, right? And then maybe some, I think there was one in there for heartburn. And I don't know if you take that daily or not, or just when you have heartburn, but it doesn't matter. Like, and then, so I'm like, for 70, this guy is like good looking. And then I was writing the chart on the way, and I put his birth date in, and it auto-populates the age. He's 78 or 76, something like that. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it gets better. Like, this guy's now older, chronologically. But still, like, one of the best fit people I've ever met, regardless of age. And so we land, and we take him out of the helicopter. And I say, hey, listen, man, you're a good-looking son of a bitch. Like, and I don't use that lightly. Good looking, but you are a good looking guy. And he says, thanks, man. He goes, you know what? It's hard work. And I was like, well, it's like hard work to keep you. So he's like, no, he works hard. Like, that's his secret to longevity, basically, is working hard. Like, he goes, I've worked hard my entire life, and I'm going to keep working hard. I still work hard. And he goes, even though I'm here today in the hospital, it ain't going to slow me down. Like, let's get in there and do what we need to do so I can get out. I got shit to do. It's basically his attitude, right? And I'm like, that's the ticket right there. What a great message. I think this guy knows that if he slows down, he'll die, which is what happens to a lot of us. We all have purpose in our, we don't find our purpose maybe till we're in our 30s or 40s, and then we continue that purpose until we're in our 60s or 70s, and then we stop. And then that's usually when the badness happens, right? We stop moving, we stop finding reasons to commit to things. We start finding our purpose. We start finding problems to solve, and we just kind of sit. And I think that's our downfall. We start getting, obese and immobile, and then we're on medications, and then we're in the cycle of the healthcare system, and then all of a sudden we're just dead, right? Like, I think this guy knows this. I would be interested in talking to him more about how he got to this point. If this is just his like personal philosophy on life, but he looked like one of those. He was a union carpenter in Maryland. That's what he did for his career. So, I mean, the guy's no stranger to hard work. But I thought, what a great message to people. It's so simple. It's just, hey man, what do you do? He goes, I work hard. That's period. 76, 78 years old, 3 medicines, looks good. And I can't get over. I said, listen, man, you're the guy I want to be. you're the guy I'm trying to be right now. Like, I'm not interested in being a customer in the healthcare system. I'm not interested in being on a bunch of medicines. I'm not interested in being idle. I'm interested in being you. So, point of that story is there's people out there like it, man. And I know that we always are trying to look for these people and they're the one percenters. And I think they are. Like, I think these people are hard to find. I don't see too many of them. Now, I'm not in the business where I'm usually hauling healthy elderly people, right? Like, so my exposure is going to be more towards the latter, not the kind of ending I'm trying to get to. So I understand that, but these people are out there, and they're out doing it at a very high number age. So just when you see them, just acknowledge them. Be like, hey, listen, you're doing it right. You're doing it. That's what I hope to achieve. Anyway, that's it. So sped through this one. That's all I got. Um, I'll let you know how things turn out. But for now, I'm just going to do this short one for tomorrow. And then like my boss has a foundation. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk to Malcolm. I got another lawyer in the books. AJ and I are going to do an episode from a sauna. So, I mean, that's going to be weird and cool, I think. So stay tuned for that. But I have to space them out now because I'm a tight ass and I ain't going to spend money for this thing. So that's it. Work hard, be kind. Bye. Hey guys, thanks again for listening to another episode of the Shift Change Podcast. I need to ask if you would leave a rating. I think that it helps people who are new to the podcast find it quicker. It doesn't do me any good, but it does help other people that are looking for the Shift Change Podcast on Spotify or Apple. It just comes up quicker the more ratings that you give it. I don't, whether you give it a 2 or a 5, it doesn't make a difference. It just helps other people. If you need to get a hold of me, contact me via my email, the show email, which is talkshiftchange@gmail.com. Or you can message me on Instagram at talk.shiftchange. Excuse me, at talk.shiftchange on Instagram. As always, thanks for listening. I could not have imagined how well this podcast has been received. So, as always, I appreciate it. Work hard, be kind.